What if a murder could only be solved by a haunting voice speaking from beyond the grave? In the annals of American folklore, few stories are as unsettling as a ghost testifying in court. This incredible, perplexing event unfolded in 1897, deep within the remote rolling hills of Greenbrier County, West Virginia. It began with the sudden, tragic death of a young woman named Elva Zona Heaster, found lifeless in her home. Her husband, a local blacksmith named Edward Shue, discovered her lifeless body at the foot of their stairs. Edward quickly claimed Zona had suffered a sudden, unexpected heart attack, a tragically common explanation in the rural communities of that era. The local doctor initially listed the cause of death as everlasting faint, or complications from an earlier childbirth. Zona was quickly buried in the local cemetery, her grieving mother, Mary Jane Heaster, left utterly heartbroken. Yet, Mary Jane felt an unsettling unease, a mother's intuition whispering that something was terribly wrong. She noticed Edward's increasingly strange behavior, particularly his intense, almost possessive protectiveness over Zona's casket and later her gravesite. Edward had dressed Zona for burial himself, insisting on a high-necked dress with a stiff collar. This unusual request raised a few eyebrows, but Edward's seeming grief prevented any immediate questioning from neighbors. He also placed a pillow on one side of her head, which he said helped her rest comfortably in the coffin. For weeks, Mary Jane wrestled with her profound grief and growing suspicion, unable to find any peace. Then, a series of extraordinary, inexplicable events began to unfold, events that defied all rational explanation. According to Mary Jane, Zona's ghost appeared to her, not once, but over 4 consecutive nights. The spectral figure reportedly materialized at her bedside, initially silent and ethereal, shrouded in an otherworldly, soft, glowing light. Mary Jane often described a profound coldness accompanying its presence, a chilling sensation that permeated her entire room. On subsequent nights, the ghostly apparition began to speak, its voice clear but filled with profound sorrow. The ghost of Zona claimed her death was no tragic accident, but a brutal, deliberate murder committed by her own husband, Edward. She described how Edward, in a sudden fit of uncontrolled rage, had violently broken her neck during a heated domestic argument. The ghost even detailed the specific injury, explaining how Edward had twisted her head forcefully, causing a fatal fracture. This gruesome detail, delivered with spectral clarity, left Mary Jane with no doubt about the truth of Zona's demise. Imagine hearing such a specific, horrifying confession from your deceased daughter, a tale of violence from beyond the grave. Mary Jane, though initially terrified and disoriented, became profoundly convinced by the vivid, consistent, and chilling details provided by the persistent spirit. She bravely approached the local prosecutor, John Alfred Preston, sharing her unbelievable, haunting account. Prosecutor Preston, a deeply skeptical man of law, found himself facing an utterly unprecedented and bewildering situation in his long career. He knew the legal system rarely accepted supernatural claims, yet Mary Jane's conviction was undeniably persuasive and sincere. Despite the bizarre nature of the claim, Preston ordered a full exhumation of Zona's body, seeking concrete evidence. On February 22, 1897, Zona's coffin was opened, and her body was carefully examined by 2 attending doctors. The air in the small cemetery was thick with anticipation and dread as the grim, delicate procedure began. What the medical team discovered shocked everyone present. unequivocally confirming the ghost's previously unbelievable and bizarre testimony. Zona's neck was indeed broken, revealing clear, unmistakable signs of manual strangulation and a severely dislocated cervical vertebra. The stiff, high-necked collar and carefully placed pillow Edward had insisted upon had expertly concealed these brutal, fatal injuries. The doctor noted how these items were strategically placed, perfectly hiding the horrific damage to her fragile neck. News of the exhumation and the grim findings spread quickly through the shocked, quiet community. A palpable tension gripped Greenbrier County as whispers of murder replaced all talk of heart failure. Many locals were absolutely outraged by the discovery, with some even attempting to lynch Edward Shue before his formal trial could begin. Authorities had to move Edward to a different jail for his own safety, fearing an imminent mob justice. The subsequent murder trial became a sensational event, drawing curious crowds from across the entire region. Newspapers dubbed it the Greenbrier Ghost Trial, capturing the imagination of a nation fascinated by the bizarre. Prosecutor Preston, despite his earlier skepticism, now presented the unusual evidence quite carefully and methodically. During the sensational and highly publicized proceedings, Mary Jane Heaster was controversially allowed to testify about her daughter's ghostly visits. She calmly recounted the spectral appearances and the chilling, detailed confession the apparition had provided her over those 4 nights. Her unwavering testimony, despite its unbelievable nature, held a strange, compelling power over everyone listening intently. The entire courtroom was utterly captivated, with some jurors openly weeping, others staring in stunned, silent, absolute disbelief. The defense attorneys fiercely ridiculed her story, attempting to portray her as delusional and utterly unreliable. They argued Mary Jane's overwhelming grief had distorted her fragile mind, in creating a vengeful fantasy to cope with her loss. However, the jury, after hearing the compelling medical evidence matching the ghost's claims, delivered a guilty verdict. They grappled with the incredible story, but the physical evidence ultimately corroborated the spectral accusations perfectly. Edward Shue was subsequently sentenced to life in prison, becoming the only man ever convicted on direct ghost testimony. He died a few years later in the state penitentiary, reportedly never admitting his guilt in Zona's tragic, mysterious death. The Greenbrier County Courthouse records still carry the astonishing words of the Greenbrier Ghost's testimony, preserved for history today. This extraordinary case cemented its unique place in West Virginia folklore and American legal history, forever challenging conventional justice. The compelling story inspired numerous books, documentaries, and continues to be one of the best-known ghost tales in the Mountain State. Historians and paranormal investigators still vigorously debate the true nature of Zona's spectral appearance and its profound impact today. Was it a genuine, otherworldly visitation, or perhaps a grieving mother's clever, desperate way to expose a hidden killer? Locals still wonder about the delicate, often blurred line between the natural and the chillingly supernatural world surrounding us. The Greenbrier Ghost remains a haunting, unresolved mystery, a testament to justice found in the most unexpected and bizarre ways. Could you ever truly believe a ghost's testimony, even if it undeniably led to a proven murderer's conviction?